And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, children. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate y'all. It's playoffs. It's a very exciting time. I'm excited to be here, TJ. We had 6 playoff games. People are going home. Jobs are on the line. Coaches, we don't know if they're getting fired. We don't know if they're staying. There's all kinds of rhetoric. How are you feeling, man? You look good. You got the mic, got the headphones, looking sharp.
It was fun. It was fun to watch great playoff football, right? 4 out of 6 games came down to the last drive. Yeah, 4 out of 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A couple duds there with they say the Chargers don't have an offensive line, but that was an embarrassing offensive performance, especially when they get an interception inside the 10 and can't come back and even get a field goal. I thought was crazy. I think it's funny how the verbiage with Harbaugh is, oh, the Falcons are interviewing Harbaugh this week. The Giants are interviewing Harbaugh next week.
Miami's got a blank check, right? We've heard that.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because it's not the teams aren't interviewing
What's up,
Harbaugh.
Wu-Tang?
What's up, Wu-Tang? Thanks for listening, buddy. I think that, the teams aren't interviewing Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh's interviewing the teams. He's going to pick, and there's not going to be a team that hires a head coach that's getting interviewed by Harbaugh until Harbaugh gets hired, right?
Yeah, no, I think he's got to be the first domino to fall. Now, when you're talking about him and he's out there interviewing, is he taking 25, 30 million? Is that like the line that he's going to jump at?
Yeah, I think that Andy Reid gets 20 million a year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So it's kind of crazy.
He hopes the Giants gets him.
Yeah. I think that it's crazy that so many people are coveting a coach that just got fired that hasn't been to a Super Bowl in 10 plus years, right? And I think it's kind of crazy how much everyone's going after him. But yeah, we have a source down in Miami that says that they might be throwing 30 million at him. Supposedly, he's already on the phone with Aaron Rodgers to give one more shot. Obviously, Harbaugh is not going to ride with Tua. And, get Rodgers down there in the sun, in the warm weather for a year, bring back Tyreek Hill on a modified contract, and run it back with a pretty good defense. A good stadium.
That is interesting. Base, obviously, we're not trying to jump all over the place or anything, but Aaron Rodgers did have some pretty easy words. I mean, they're like, are you going to play next year? Was this your last game? And he's like, any game could be my last game, right? So he's not retiring. I don't think he wants to retire. Now, that would be interesting. He said he had a good time playing with the Steelers this year. He said in his life he liked the team. Fun. I think he likes the culture, right? So, I mean.
Yeah, I think that he did great for what you could do, not even for his age. I think that
his arm still got lots of snap.
Yeah, his arm ability is there. They said that yesterday there's a couple times that maybe he would have ran if it was 10 years ago that he doesn't run now, which I don't blame him. But I think that I would be shocked if Harbaugh went to Miami, but I am pretty confident that Miami is going to offer him the most money. And when you start thinking about $25, $30 million a year, and you start, he might be tired of the cold weather. We don't know that much about John Harbaugh. He's the brother that didn't really make it in the NFL, right? Like he's not the lesser brother. I'm not going to call him that because he was, he's been in the NFL for a while, but Jim Harbaugh was the big name, right? And I just don't know I don't know. I'm actually kind of surprised on how much people want John Harbaugh.
Yeah,
Johnny T. Harbaugh had dinner with the mayor and Harbaugh.
You see that, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I think that he'll get all his financial demands, and I think it's just going to be up to the other stuff, right? So he'll get his money, and it'd be so interesting to see if the Giants do get him. I think the Giants are the front runner. I think the Giants, and not as a Giant fan, I think the Giants are by far the sexiest roster. And also, it's so easy to improve. So if you're a coach next year and you go from 3-14 or 4-13, whatever the fuck we were,
right,
to being, a borderline playoff team. I do think it's also a little weird that everyone's like, oh, well, the Giants have their quarterback for the future. I don't know about that. I think Dart could be the guy. I saw things in Dart that I liked. A lot of people say they haven't seen him deliver many passes in the pocket, and that scares people. And he's obviously pretty reckless and he refuses to slide. But I think he can get around that. But I
just
think
feel like he's a little young and raw in those manners, and you can definitely reel that in, right? Like,
yeah, but look at the Giants, like how sexy that roster is. They have great pass rushers, right? I mean, great. Abdul Carter came on really strong. You're right, Star Spangled. I'll get into that in a minute.
I feel like maybe if they would have lost to the Jags, but we'll get into that. I don't know now.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was
it would have been maybe before then. I don't know about now.
But the Giants have a great pass rush and a great defensive line besides the pass rush. They have a great left tackle. You have a quarterback of the future, quote unquote, a very deep running back depth that are still under contract with Scatterboot, Tyrone Tracy. You have 2 to 3 really good receivers. You have 2 good tight ends in Bellinger and Theo Robinson. Both guys can beat you downfield too. Bellinger and Theo Robinson both had deep balls this year. They've showed pretty much, I want to say, above average speed for a tight end. And I think I already said a great left tackle, Andrew Thomas. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for there. There's no way the Eagles are firing Sirianni, I don't think. I mean,
I think AJ Brown's definitely out of there. The Sirianni, Jalen Hurts did take some traction last year, but then they won a Super Bowl. So that just kind of negates everything, right?
And literally, they beat the Niners. I don't know about easily, but they beat the Niners if they just catch one of their 6 drops. I mean, those were such crucial drops, especially late in the game too.
When we get into that one, that's definitely there's one drop that everything could have been forgiven if he just makes one catch. I mean, it's crazy.
And we keep on saying we're going to get into it. We got absolutely annihilated after the show last week by our producer for not following the curriculum. I mean, talk about borderline almost getting kicked off the network.
I didn't know if we were going to do the show this week.
So we keep on wanting to make sure we keep it structured, nice and simple.
Rams Panthers coming at you game 1. Don't worry.
Yeah, obviously
just talking about coaching. This is Harbaugh's hour right now, and it just leads to a lot of other things. It's kind
of but no, and when I mean totally annihilated, I mean he talked to us for about 3 seconds and just said, "Hey guys, it's a little hard to keep up when you're bouncing around. Have a great day. You did great." And Buff and I took that very personal. Yeah, I think it's funny that all the hype around Harbaugh. I don't think he's going to the Eagles. I think the Giants is the sexiest roster. I think the NFC East is fun to coach. I think Harbaugh would maybe like switching up divisions. I'm actually kind of surprised. Appreciate that, Gene. I'm actually surprised that Harbaugh also didn't even play. Like, I'm surprised he's jumping right back into coaching. I'll say that. I'm surprised that he just still has that burning desire. I could have seen him maybe taking a year off and then going back into it. But no, he made it well known pretty early. I will coach again in 2026.
I mean, I think that has to do with how close the Ravens have been. And I think that has kind of got that appetite stirred. And he's on the precipice, the doorstep. He's knocking. He's so close. He had Lamar. He had Derrick Henry. Had all these people, right?
And you're right about that.
Done. So I feel that just leaves him in that boat. He's like, all right, I'm fucking already fired up. Might as well just sit there and take this momentum and go do something and shape shift a little bit and figure it out. Now, I agree. I thought he was going to take, I don't know. I think he's even more coveted if he takes 1 year off. Just one year off and let everything shake out. And then next year's Black Monday, then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he's going to be the leading candidate. So I don't know. I guess I'm surprised as well. You're right.
It's also hard. Like, right. Okay. So the NFL, every league, whatever, every sports, one team wins a championship, right? So I always hated that. If you don't win a championship, you're a failure. I used to always say, hey, that Bills run was great. They made it to the Super Bowl 4 times. Yeah, you want to win one. But when I say I'm shocked Harbaugh is so coveted after he got fired, but the one thing Harbaugh did as a coach, all you could do is set your team up for success, right? And Lamar Jackson and the Ravens were in the mix every year. And we were shocked this year they're not in the playoffs. And literally, he'd still be a coach, most likely, because I think they probably win a playoff game if they make a field goal. And a field kick is hard and all that stuff. But as a coach, and that's why I think Sirianni and this offensive coordinator for the Eagles are getting so unfairly judged. I mean, the Eagles win the game if they don't drop the ball, right? As a coach, all you could do. And also, yeah, the Eagles offense didn't look amazing this year, but that offensive line is a totally different ball game. And we talked about it last podcast about there was one last show that there was one Eagles offensive lineman, one of the big name guys, I forget his name, not Lane Johnson, but the next guy. And and also keep in mind, Lane Johnson was hurt for this game, right? Lane Johnson didn't play. But the Eagles offensive line has been atrocious this year. Yeah, Star Spangled, I get it. It's easy to say that the OC needs to go, but I think they were going to the Super Bowl again. And then A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith decided to drop balls. Saquon Barkley dropped a huge ball on third down.
Yeah, it wasn't the sexiest offense, but the offense could matriculate. They had a defense. You get them on a third or fourth and short, they're pushing you, and then they're going to continue to milk the clock, bleed it, and they were going to win some games,
and
man.
Their offensive line
or 5 cost them the game.
Their offensive line was not good this year. It was a totally different team than we've seen the last couple of years. Also, back to Harbaugh, right? If Mark Andrews makes that catch last year, I mean, these are like, I hate to say, oh, if you do this, if you that, but you ask Mark Andrews, he catches that ball 9 out of 100 times. It wasn't a hard catch up and high or low. I mean, it was literally, he had to fall to his knees and catch it in his belly. Like it was like literally one of those catches. And Mark Andrews is great. And he would make that catch 9 out of 100 times. And these are the plays that are kind of dictating, oh, hey, they are, Giant T says up there in the tri-state area, they're killing Sirianni. They would be absolute fools. He just won a Super Bowl. Did he go to the Super Bowl the year before, or was that 2 years?
They went I think he was with them the first time they lost to the Chiefs, right?
He's literally in the mix every year.
And our division is,
2 years
our division.
So
they could continue to win that division.
He's been to the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 4 years. He's won 1, and this game was one of the flukiest games. Juwan Jennings had to throw a bomb. Let's just get right into it, right? Let's start with Rams-Panthers.
All right, Rams-Panthers, here we go. Just talking about it, the money line, everyone was a little bit nervous about taking the Panthers, but the spread, everybody loved. They were getting 10 points, and I thought that was the best bet and the easiest bet of the entire weekend. All you had to do was just dump your money on the spread, and you cash out, right?
Now, we didn't, you said the easiest bet was the Patriots, but you still won that one easily too. But remember when I was driving you home on Friday night and we were like, man, you got to take Carolina plus 10.5, right? And the only reason why I said that is this is the same exact team. We just saw them play 4 or 5 weeks ago, or actually it was like 6 weeks ago, I think, in that big setting in Carolina, and Carolina beat them.
Right.
What's going to be that much different? Except for the Rams weren't as hot as they were back then.
Right. And then the Panthers went out and laid an egg against the Bucs too. So they did not look good going into hosting a playoff game. Right?
No, they didn't look good. And that we joked and said that there's 13 teams that have a chance to win the Super Bowl. The only team that doesn't have a chance are the Panthers. But I thought the spread was a little too high. And, whatever. That was correct about that. But it was a fun game to watch. A couple things that popped out at me. Dowdle had 5 carries for 9 yards.
Unbelievable. We talked about him being a proponent for them catapulting forward, and they don't feed the monster. Like, that's unreal.
And Chuba had like 13 carries for like under 40 yards. I'm pretty sure about that. It was bad.
What a time to revert back to your lineup, dude. I just don't get it.
They couldn't run the ball at all. And then somehow they take the lead with 3-ish minutes to go.
Yeah.
And the Panthers play prevent defense, and they are getting ripped by the media. I mean, there was what's his name? There's a famous football guy that showed every play, and literally they were always the cornerbacks were 10 yards off. Everybody, every defender, except for the D lineman and like a linebacker too, were all 10 yards off. And
You just
Stafford
can't.
literally
You
pop,
can't
pop,
play.
pop, pop, pop. Now it's always easy to say, don't play prevent. Why do teams play prevent?
Tyson would be on a
Yeah.
fucking rolling down it
I
right
mean,
now. Screaming,
it's I know it's important to state, why do you play prevent? You don't want to get cooked on one play and just be done. You know what I'm trying to say? So you want them to work down the field. Give yourself a chance for a tip ball interception, a drop ball interception, a goofy fumble. The only way you give yourself a chance at that is if you make them work down the field. So that's why you call a little bit of a softer defense. But this was way too soft. And in the Madden mentality, I was thinking, you got to play at least a little aggressive. And if you haven't been able to stop them all game, right? So play a little aggressive, take some chances. And if they do score, then at least you have a chance to go back and only kick a field goal, right? So you're right, Star Spangled. But the problem is that they let them slowly and easily move right down the field at 7 to 10 yards a pop. And then
just kind
they
of
ate
knew
up
it
all
was
the
coming
clock also.
too. Oh,
They ate up all the clock.
Ate up all the clock. The Panthers had some bright sides, man. Like you said, they didn't run the ball. Jalen Coker, 9 catches, $134. Tedero McMillan went nuts. 5 catches, 81 yards. That's great for your one against that, right? I mean, Bryce Young was throwing the ball.
I do respect the coach too, Canales. I think that's how you say his name. They abandoned the run pretty quick, like late in the game. They could not run the ball. Like it was literally handoff, getting blown up in the backfield. So therefore, what are you doing, right? You're just wasting plays. We saw the Steelers do it last night, right? It's a waste of a down. You will not get more than 3 yards, and you're not keeping them off balance. They have your run locked up, chucking around the lot, and that's what they did. And they gave themselves a chance to win, and then they literally just decided to play like pussies the last.
You just knew if it was going to be down to a gunslinging match, that it was definitely going to be Stafford over Young. And I mean, Puka 8, you know what I mean? Like you could sit there. They had kudos. The Rams didn't run the ball that well either. Kyron and Blake Corum were under 50 yards. The Panthers defense did kind of stop that a little bit. Stafford barely cracked 300, right? Puka was the big line. Puka had 10 catches, 111 yards. Devontae Adams, 5 for 72. And then Parkinson, Puka, with 30 seconds left, 38 seconds, catches the game winner. And we even mentioned about Parkinson coming in and being that dude who's going to be a dangerous threat when it matters. And there he goes, right?
No, Rams are tough. Puka had a drop at the end of half. Cost my dad a little bit of money. He was pissed. He ran it out and up, and he was wide open.
Star Spangled asked if Young secured his position in Carolina. I would say yes.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely got a little bit of mobility. His arm's getting better. He looked way better after the whole Andy Dalton experiment. He looks like a leader of the team. Looks like they love him in Carolina. And then he's got Tedero McMillan now. He's got Jalen Coker now. He's still got Xavier Legette. Like they got some weapons.
Yeah, and like to watch him under this new coach, he definitely looked better. I think that he'll never be like a top quarterback in the NFL, but you don't need to be a top quarterback to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. As a Giant fan, we saw Eli Manning do it twice, right? So I think that he's going to be there for a while. I shouldn't say for a while, because I don't know that.
Probably through his rookie contract, you would imagine.
Yeah, through the rookie contract. Right? And like Wu-Tang, they'll probably add more weapons. But if you look at it, you got Chuba and Dowdle.
You got Dowdle. Like you need defense and you need trenches.
Isn't that crazy though? We talk about Dowdle like he's like so good, and the Cowboys just discarded him for nothing.
Bro, we're ridiculous. And I get it. Like Javonte looked great, but like Javonte and Dowdle would have been nice this year. You know what I mean?
Like, I think that. Remember I was saying with the Niners and like with Purdy last year, do you just automatically have to give the quarterback $250 million? And now Purdy is a different example because Purdy has 1. But what does Bryce Young ask for? What does a contract look for Bryce Young? Star Spangled or Wu-Tang, if you're in the chat, or Johnny T or Tommy Steamers, what does a Bryce Young contract look like? You can't do 5 years, $250 million. You can't pay Bryce Young that. I would rather
as the money continues to go up, it almost sounds like he's in the 230, 220. You know what I mean?
That's ridiculous too. But
that's ridiculous. But like he's going to be a guy. So fantasy relevance, He's going to be a dude that you could stream, okay? He's a streamer in our eyes. On the wire, when your guys are on buys, if a guy gets hurt, Bryce Young's got a matchup that you might like, maybe you can go stream him. He's not a guy who gets drafted in fantasy. He's not a top 12 fantasy quarterback. He's not really a top 15 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, he's probably not top 20, right? He's been on the waiver wire all year.
I mean, so you're just looking. So if you're not really making any sort of situation for yourself to where your numbers are a little bit gaudy or you're a stat patter, then yeah, I don't know how he really does fall into it. But you said it. The money is going to have to go there.
But if you're like,
the money's only going up, I feel. So they're going to end up paying him. And if it's not 250, it's somewhere in between 210 to 220. Like, it's stupid. He's getting 200 million.
He'll get a Daniel Jones. Like, yeah. And like, but also, I know Aaron Rodgers is done now, but if you're the Panthers, are you like, hey, Winston, come on over. We'll give you 3 years, 60 million. You think Winston takes that?
What is this? This was year 2 of Bryce Young, right?
Year 3.
Year 3 of Bryce Young. I knew it was year 2 or 3. Okay, so year 3. I mean, I guess if as an NFL prospect, I've seen enough understanding that he isn't this big physical guy. He's going to have to rely on positioning, on intelligence, and on a good system and players. He's not the dude I feel that's going to go and win you 3 or 4 games for somebody who's getting paid $200 and something million. Maybe I do, but I feel like I don't know if the Panthers would do that. I feel like year 3, like you let him work out his contract and then you bring somebody else in. Now, if this is the only chance you get to bring in a Jameis Winston, okay, but it sounds like Jameis Winston would also fit in a few other places, and he probably wouldn't want to pick Carolina.
No, yeah.
I don't see him going there. I think the Panthers retain him. I think is my answer, Star Spangled. I think they retain him. And maybe they do get a bit of a friendly contract, and maybe he could stay around that long. Maybe this is a Trevor Lawrence experiment in their eyes, and you want to let the talent actually rise, and you want to let them build and grow. And they're not going to make a snap decision like all these franchises and coaches do because there's some fucking Twitter expert out there saying that this guy sucks, and they don't know what they're talking about, right? So go ahead. Let him develop. Let him actually earn some time. Let him become a better quarterback and see if in year 5 or 6 that he is that dude that continues to grow, because that division isn't by any means out of reach. I mean, hell, they won the division this year. That's something that none of us had. And if you would have took that, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so let's talk about that. He's not in any bad spot in the division, right? It says, Al says next year, 4 to 5, 48 to 52, puts him at 150 to 200 guaranteed. Yeah, right? I think we're speaking semantics right now.
Whatever G means there. But yeah.
I think he's right there in the 200 million cusp. And I think it's better to show loyalty and to let your guys grow a little bit, man. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Bryce Young and the Panthers, right?
Yeah, I think that they had a chance to
I got the Rams going to the championship game. This was chalk to me. Even though it came down to the last second, I knew that Carolina at home was going to be a little tough. I had the Rams going. I got the Rams moving on.
Well, yeah, everyone had the Rams winning this game, but what do we say about?
I got the Rams winning next game, yeah. But that's not until Thursday we're allowed to talk about that. So
yeah. Keep on schedule, buddy.
All right, Packers and Bears.
Yeah,
Packers. Before the season, I had the Rams winning the Super Bowl against the Bills. I actually have that in one of my brackets, Rams and Bills. Yes.
Yep. So we had Packers, Bears, one of the biggest meltdowns in recent playoff NFL history here. I mean, there were so many times where I thought that Green Bay sealed the deal. One was late in the third quarter when the Bears are driving and Caleb, they turned the ball over inside the red zone. They were down 21-6 at the time. I'm going to kind of fact check a little bit of this when I'm watching.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. And then
your timeline's good.
The other time was when Golden ran over, tripped over, fell over 3 people and scored a touchdown with 6 minutes to go up. They went up 27-16 with 6 minutes and 36 seconds to go. Caleb Williams storms back, does what he does. a lot of people are blaming LaFleur for this. I don't really have any takes on this. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this game?
All right. Well, 3 games in one season, the Packers have blown a 10-point lead with less than 5 minutes left. They're the first team since 1970 with 3 losses in one season like that. That's inexcusable. And you want to know where you lost your season is because you couldn't hold these late leads, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's really LaFleur. I don't know if that's your DC. I don't know if that's whatever you want to talk about it. But LaFleur had his team in position time and time again. And we all talked about it. Like, if they have Micah in this game, it's a wrap, right? They had a couple of unfortunate injuries late in the year that kind of left them, with the war of attrition. They were just shorthanded per se. And they still should have won this game. I will also say one of the best damn plays that I saw all weekend was Caleb Williams on 4th and 8, falling down, rolling left, and hitting Odunze over 2 defenders in front of 2 defenders and drops it right in the bucket while he's going on his ass. That was unbelievable.
He's been making those throws all year, and it was so funny. I wish we could clip some of these highlights that we'll talk about. But I know a few times I said, when you're in the playoffs and a play that matters the most, you want one of the best defensive ends in football to come at you and to go get you that victory. And don't you think over the final 6 minutes, if Parsons was healthy, this would not have happened?
100%.
Also, not in defense of LaFleur, because I was always, my dad raised me on an early age when he was my coach in sports. If a team blows a big lead, it always falls on the head coach, right? So when my dad was even our coach in Little League and we gave up a big lead, he always thought that he should have done something different, right? Now, I don't think that means you fire LaFleur. I just think it means, is he going to learn from this, right? This is where, if I'm a GM or an owner, I'm doing, and I don't know if Glenn's listening right now, but I'm doing my postseason exit interviews, but not really exit, but you know what I mean? And say, hey, you've blown some big leads this year. You have to be a good enough team and coach to get those big leads. What have you learned? What can we do different? Because if the answer is, yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, I think they should absolutely retain LaFleur. I don't think they should get rid of him at all. I think they got something building for sure, but I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, they got something building, and they're gonna double down and extend him, and I think they should. It takes a coach to get those leads, right? Like Dayball, I used to say, Dayball got those leads. He blew those leads, but he got those leads. And if you're a coach, if you're a smart guy, you're constantly evolving. We've seen, all these coaches that all they want to do is throw the ball down the field, but when they start winning, they run the ball, right? The best coaches, I always feel like, don't have an offensive identity. Can you tell me what Bill Parcells' true offensive identity was? No. Nick Saban? No. Belichick? No. I've seen Belichick drop back 50 times. I've seen Belichick run the ball 50 times, right? I mean, it's what works at that given time. And the point I'm trying to make is that I think LaFleur is the guy there. I think LaFleur should be retained. And I think that, like you just said, they're building something special. I mean, Golden finally started looking like the number 1 draft.
Golden is the dude, right? We're just waiting on him to blossom.
Christian Watson finally got healthy this year.
Bro, Romeo Dobbs played out of his mind this year.
Dobbs looked good. Jacobs
and
still young.
He had some crazy catches, I thought, that iced the game in that game too, right?
Yeah,
he had some big catches. But I will say, this does officially put an end to the whole fucking 27 lore of all the Packers nation and how every quarterback great wins a Super Bowl at 27. Favre did it. Rodgers did it. Starr did it. Whatever, bro. It's over. It's over.
It's crazy to
Jordan Love didn't win it at 27. I was so tired of hearing about it all year long. All the Packers kept hanging their hat on some fucking weird stat. It's so crazy.
It's crazy to think, too, because the NFL has got what they want. They got parity in the NFL. Now, you look at the Rams-Panthers game. Panthers should have won that game. The Rams did not give it away. The Panthers should have won. Panthers blew it. Rams won, right?
Yes.
Packers-Bears. Packers, I'm not even saying the Packers should have won, but Packers had a big lead. Bears came back. But we're not leaving that game saying Bears were by far the better team, right? Just like we're not leaving the Panthers-Rams game saying that. Bills, Jacksonville.
Mm.
Jacksonville, I think, outplayed them a little bit, but it's Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. We'll talk about that game in a second. But it's just like you're leaving these games saying the best team win. Maybe the best team didn't win. Maybe the best team did. But like the NFL is so close. And all right, I knew Glenn was going to chime in here. LaFleur's record is 37-31.
He's saying he had his chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that if you hit the reset button right now with Green Bay and you get a coach in there, and all right, let's say you hire a new coach. Let's just say, Glenn, and I'm going to
Harbaugh.
I want you to answer something. You get a coach, right? And you guys go 6-11 next year. Are you firing that coach?
Or are you going to let him rebuild?
Now you're going to wait another year. The next year,
or are you going to have to wait for him to get his own
groceries? Next year,
like,
he almost makes it, but you barely missed the playoffs again. Now you're 2 years in a row with, and Harbaugh would look great. And but so the point is that LaFleur is getting you there. And LaFleur is not only getting you there, but he's getting you double-digit playoff leads with 6 minutes to go in the game. So I don't think you just, oh, no, it's done. I think LaFleur is a young guy. And I think that
I put LaFleur in the same boat as like the Shanahan and the McVay. And he's just like a young dude who's definitely a genius at the game. I think he's headed towards the right direction. I think you got to continue to let him do his thing, bro. Like 100%.
Yep. And I think LaFleur is learning, and it's okay. It's okay to learn. Yeah. And if Mika
if Kraft was it, we didn't even mention Tucker Kraft, bro.
Yep.
Like, dude,
if
love you,
Tucker Kraft was there. And also, keep in mind, that's probably a main reason why they weren't running. They couldn't run the ball very well either, right? Even though it just seems like the Bears couldn't really run. I mean, the Bears really couldn't run the ball. I don't know. It seems like a lot of run games got locked up. The Eagles ran the ball, but so he's saying that LaFleur blew that 21-3 because was it Shanahan no. Wait, no, Shanahan was the offensive coordinator.
LaFleur wasn't the HC though.
But maybe he's saying it was Shanahan. That's why when we're talking about Shanahan. So what he was saying is because we were referring to Shanahan, right?
Sure.
So he was saying that Shanahan blew leads too. But I think these young guys are going to blow leads, and I think that that's part of their growth. But if you watch Green Bay's offense most of the year, you felt like that offense was good, right? And 100%. I think that they struggled at times like every team, but I think Green Bay is this close. And if you hit the reset button, you might just kind of lose that for a little bit and then maybe come back stronger. But I think LaFleur is one of those guys where you keep him, you had a double-digit lead, your team blew it, he'll grow from that. I think that sometimes you got to stay loyal to guys.
Yeah, man, it's way too early, but I'm telling you right now, Packers are making the playoffs next year. I mean, they're going back in. Like LaFleur resigns, they go back in, they get Micah, they get Kraft, Jordan Love continues to develop, Golden is developing. They're a problem. Packers are a problem. They're not going anywhere. Anybody who wishes they would blow up, that's wishful thinking. They're not blowing up. Like the Packers are nasty, dude.
If you bring back next year, Josh Jacobs, Dobbs, Golden, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, if you bring back all those guys, now I don't know what Tucker Kraft. And I don't know about Parsons if they're going to be healthy or not. But you bring those guys back and you bring back LaFleur. And you could say they went 9-7-1, but late in the season, and Johnny T, you're talking to Mr. Glenn Hudson, who is actually a part owner of the Packers, by the way, through family.
That's ownership right there, Johnny T. Respect on that name.
I'm pretty sure his dad was part owner and it gets passed down. He's got crazy memorabilia. We're going to get him on the show soon, but he's got crazy memorabilia, like weird stuff. Like he's got, he'll actually tell you about a baseball that he sold. It was one of Sandy Koufax's no-hitters, I think. He sold the ball for a good amount. I won't even give the dollar amount, but now it would have been worth
even crazy.
Let's just say a 2025 BMW. put it that way. And he sold it for a 2010 Kia. But whatever. Anyways, let's move on. So Bears, big win. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams made some amazing throws.
They're the cardiac Bears, man. They are always, like you heard Tyson and Jeremy say it, the Bears' heart problems are very real right now. They're disappointed and they're mad and they're cursing and screaming to the TV for 3 quarters. And then the 4th quarter, it's the cardiac dudes. They come back, they're making plays, they're getting breaks, and then they're pulling victory out of the jaws of defeat. Like, it's crazy how they snuck the Packers twice in the last waning moments of these games, man.
And it is crazy. And it's like one of those.
And you saw him grate the cheese at the end of the game.
Oh,
Caleb was grating the cheese. He was all, that shit is, I love that, man.
That Bears roster with Loveland, Odunze, DJ Moore. But this is why you have a guy like DJ Moore. Fantasy-wise, it could be frustrating. But in the playoffs,
but even in real life, he had some crucial drops too, but he came back, right?
Yeah, the Packers did it also. The Packers, these are 2 really good rosters, 2 sexy offensive rosters, just receivers everywhere.
Ben Johnson is so unlikable to Gene. Yeah, Gene, Ben Johnson says he hates you too. Just to let you know, that's per Ben Johnson. No, the Bears got a nice team in. I love Monangai and I love Swift there. I feel like there's such a great combo. And I think that they will get that running game back on track. Sandy is alive, 90 years old. Wow.
Well, yeah, because people were asking, cool. Wu-Tang was asking if Sandy's still alive. Yeah, he had one of his
that's crazy.
Crazy stuff. But I think that with the Bears, like, look, you have Loveland, DJ Moore, Odunze.
Loveland's going to be a dude next year. He came on so hot, bro. He's a fantasy top 5 end tight end next year.
And it's crazy to think, but it's almost like the NBA, right? Where the Pacers got there, not really because, Halliburton, obviously, but it was like there's 6, 7, 8 guys that we kept on talking about on the podcast. Like the Obi Toppins putting up 20 and hitting big threes. And we didn't know where to come from. The Bears, I think I'm saying his name right, Zacchaeus.
Oh, yeah.
Had that huge touchdown catch where he kind of ran like the opposite of a zig route. It was like kind of like a out in, but only him on that team could really do that because, obviously Zacchaeus is not getting the number 1 corner, does it on the number 3 or 4 corner, cuts in, gets a touchdown with 4.5 minutes to go. And I'm pretty sure, but like,
and they got Luther Burden. We didn't even mention Luther Burden yet. I mean, behind Odunze, behind Zacchaeus, they got so many weapons, dude. Crazy.
He had a decent game. Also, the Bears on that first touchdown of the 4th quarter where they scored so quick, 10 plays, 76 yards, all in under 2 minutes. That's kind of showing you good coaching. You got 10 plays off in 2 minutes. That's something. You're getting to the line quick. Throwing the ball away when you should. And
they're deep
also
listing.
A low key, people forget about this, but that 2-point conversion on that Zacchaeus touchdown where he hits Loveland, like in that front pylon, was a big.
Yeah, it doesn't happen if not for that.
Because then it changes the game where at the end, the Packers needed a touchdown, not a field goal. Also, we have to talk about that missed extra point with Green Bay. That missed extra point changed everything.
Oh, yeah. I was over here talking shit, being like, TJ whooped Matt Prater's ass in Madden. Here he goes, watching. He's about to miss a field goal. Shank! I was like talking to people right there, talking you up, being like, he's still thinking about it right now. Shank! Like, oh, my God. I could not believe he choked there.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. But Prater plays for the Bills. Was this for the Bills?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking, getting crossed up. All I know is I was calling somebody to miss a field goal.
Yeah.
Talking shit, and it happened. That's all I remember in the moment. But no, you're right. There was some definite missed opportunities there.
There's this great Instagram.
That happen.
Yeah, there's this great viral Instagram, TikTok video going around where it's Bears fans and they're watching the game, right?
The Bears.
And it's like 4 probably college-age kids, maybe a little older, all sitting around a TV. It's big screen, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like they're in the basement. And Green Bay scores a touchdown, right? to go up 27-16. And the Green Bay the Bear fans are yelling, "This is a big extra point. This could change everything." Or hold on, no, wait. I want to make sure I get that right. Well, anyways, maybe the score I was wrong there because on the second one. But the Bears fan holds up a portable fan, right? And changes
it's
and
McManus.
turns it.
Sorry, McManus.
Yeah. The Bears fan turns the fan this way, and he's like, "Miss it, wide left, wide left." So the wind's blowing with the fan. So he holds the fan up, and then the kick goes with the fan, right? And it misses it. So the Bear fans, like the four of them, they're like kids pretty much, but older, in a basement watching the game, all go nuts. At this point, they're still losing.
Right, they're still losing, but it's what it meant, right?
27-24. It would have been 28-24. And then, it was just crazy, but it was so funny. Nate and I thought that was so cool. And we said, we're going to get a portable fan for the next time we need a big field goal to miss. We're going to hold it up.
You have
see
to.
See if we could move that ball. Makes you think sometimes, are we in a simulation?
Over the year too, man. He was a solid kicker. He was great.
He's been a great kicker in the NFL for a long time. And, these extra points now are changing the game, like it or not. And I try to tell people there are sometimes these teams are going for two. It's not always like, oh, we're going to miss the extra point. You never plan on it. But there are teams now that are going for two because they know that there is a possibility now that
there's conditions out there, right?
You miss the extra point. So sometimes it is better just to go for two when the conditions aren't great because, that extra point can mean something when it comes down to it. All right, let's go to Bills Jags.
Duval showed up. They balled out. Their defense was nice. They held up Cook for a little bit, right? They bottled him up. They made Josh Allen and the Bills work for it. They definitely had the lead. Trevor had a bad pick early on that I thought was real harmful at that moment.
Trevor's squiggly line Lawrence, right? I mean, that's what we call him sometimes. He doesn't see the field always.
Man. I thought Parker Washington was balling, and I did think Trevor definitely had some good balls. ETN just looks like a machine. He's so good. Yep. Like, he was just so good. And then they let Tootin in a couple times, and I wasn't sure if the Bills were actually going to be able to hang on. I didn't think that the Jags really, ran the ball as much as they should, is what I thought.
They had 14. You're right. You're exactly right about that.
I just didn't think that. I thought they should have ran it more, and I thought they could have controlled some clock and got a couple of easier first downs, man. Like,
Travis Etienne.
Like, I'm not the coach. I just thought that's what they should have done.
Etienne averaged 6.7 yards a carry. Tootin averaged
12.8
yards a carry.
That's unbelievable.
Averaged 12.8. Etienne 6.7, and they pretty much abandoned the run. They had 14 carries between the two of them.
I just don't get how that is the recipe against the Josh Allen Bills team, who is so dangerous that you just want to keep the ball out of their hands. So you would just think you would run the ball. I was so shocked.
Yeah, a couple things popped out at me. One, you're right. The Trevor Lawrence interception early was bad, and the Trevor Lawrence interception late was really bad. And all I kept on thinking was when the Bills score that touchdown where they let them score, right?
Yes.
The Bills, they let them walk in the end zone so they have more time.
Was that Josh Allen push that he ends up going like 11 yards in or whatever, blah, blah, blah?
They ended up marking that down.
Right, they marked it down, then they let him in. But that was like, you could kind of tell.
Yeah, and then it's funny because they got in the end zone. Their two game-winning plays were back-to-back tush pushes, right? Like to get there and to score. And they're one of the big teams that are opposing
against it, right? Like trying to vote against
tush push. But I don't blame. They're like, hey, we think it's unfair. But if you're going to let us do it, we're going to do it, right? But Trevor Lawrence gets the ball back, right? And you have plenty of time on the clock. You have a minute on the clock, right? And you have one of the best kickers in the NFL that can bang 60-yarders. Now,
you have the biggest leg in the NFL. You got the biggest weapon.
Just because he can make a 60-yarder. He missed one earlier that game. So it's not like, but that one or two plays, you're at least in his range. And the first play, you throw an interception. And it's not off a tipped ball. It's not off an interception. It's literally like you're just not reading the defense. And it's a 15-yard down and in, and you pretty much throw it right at the guy.
You know, I always get the interceptions whenever you come out into a game, you throw in early, you're on like a 20-play script. You got all the 20 plays scripted. This is where you're going, you're getting to the line, everything goes right through. You make your reads, da da da, you throw one, you thought it was open, the guy drops down, blah blah blah. I get it, you're in your script, you're late in the game. You should be so focused on reading every backer and every defense and every cornerback.
Yeah,
You should
but
be
he what
looking at everything. You should be trying to figure out who's got the advantage and to make such a blatantly bad throw. And obviously, we're not doing it. We're here talking about it. It hurt that the first interception I thought was bad. The second interception hurt. Like I could just feel that one for him. I was like, oh, that's real bad. That took the breath out of it. You could tell the stadium was like, what?
And it makes you realize Trevor Lawrence, he isn't clutch, right? And I joked early on in the year because I kept on calling him Trevor Squiggly Line Lawrence because the whole field looks like this. It's not super easy to clearly see the field when you're playing, right? It's hard to play quarterback in the NFL.
People see ghosts out there, man. You just don't know.
But there are some guys, Trevor Lawrence, Herbert, CJ Stroud, these guys, when the pressure's at its most, then you have guys like Brock Purdy. I mean, I've said a lot. I don't think Brock Purdy's worth $53 million a year. I get it. You got to pay him, but I think it hurts the whole roster development. But he sees the field late. Jalen Hurts sees the field late. Some guys, Josh Allen, sees the field late. And also, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm not just picking the quarterbacks that won or lost. It's very obvious to see which quarterbacks are just, you know what I mean? Like Trevor Lawrence threw 2 interceptions, like literally pretty much blatantly like misreading a defense.
Yeah.
And if you can't read a defense, it just makes it that much harder for the coach to set you up. You got to hope to God you could scheme offensive plays where your first read is just always going to be open. Because Trevor Lawrence could throw a 25-yard down and out and put that thing on a laser beam. But when you ask Trevor Lawrence
at the end of the year, he wasn't turning the ball over with these bad picks, and he was reading the field, and he wasn't his second, third, fourth option. He was in the bag, bro. It's just when the pressure is there and you're in the moment and Josh Allen is looking across the line.
It just pissed me off because it was the first play too. So it's like, man, you don't even have that gusto to like, at least, you know, if you threw the ball, like, you know, with the Hurricane game, which we haven't even talked about yet. But I said Carson Beck was one of those guys that gets nervous under crunch time. And then you watch him on that last drive. And I'm like, wow, I was wrong. It was literally 3 or 4 third down conversions where Carson Beck is having to make these throws that are, you know what I mean? And it's running the system. And you know how hard it is when 80,000 fans are shaking that stadium and you can't hear the play, you can't see straight. But Jacksonville, they were at home.
You're home.
And like, just for you to not even give your team a chance, just to like, you know what I mean? You just got up there, first play, easy interception, never a doubt, game over.
You're a division winner. You had all of these great signature wins. Trevor Lawrence grows. Trevor Lawrence is a fantasy quarterback next year. Will be serviceable. They obviously got weapons.
Trevor Lawrence will be the quarterback for the next 10 years, most likely. And he's going to be a good quarterback. But
he's a great quarterback.
Until he could show in like the biggest
I think this was another step forward for him this year, though. I think he's growing this year. I think he grew this year, and I think he continues to get better. It's not every quarterback is granted with success to go and win a Super Bowl outright or get on a good run and you get hot. Sometimes these dudes do go through these struggles, and you do have to lose a few before you can ever achieve the great precipice.
I just worry that he just gets so nervous in crunch time. Like, remember that Chiefs?
You got a great defense. They got a running game. They're going to be there. You know what I mean?
They're always going to be there.
Division, we've seen obviously the Texans, the Colts. They're going to be formidable.
And we're lucky enough, they're going to be the Orlando Jaguars next year.
Right. I mean, 2027, they'll be playing here.
Yeah. or 2026, right?
Is it?
This year.
I keep hearing some people say it's 2027. That
Okay, maybe it is then. Okay, yeah.
it's one of the two. I
I
don't.
thought it was like this coming year, but I could be wrong.
I was hoping it was this year, but
Yeah,
whenever I
yeah,
said that, they're like, "Oh, it's 27."
yeah, you're probably
Okay.
right then. I think that until Trevor Lawrence can prove that he could settle down, like in that Chiefs Monday Night Football game, he just fell. And then in the
Got
Bills,
up.
they had a fourth down conversion where he ran for it and he slipped and his shin hit the ground.
Yeah.
And
And
they
it shouldn't
called
have
it.
and you could tell his shin was clearly down too.
Oh,
That
it
was a
was
big
down.
play.
They marked it a first down, then they instant
Yep.
replayed it and
That
called it
was a
back.
big play,
But
man.
he slipped. He
Yeah.
slipped. Like some guys just they get so nervous in the moment that they can't, you know what I mean? That it's just like
Yeah.
where some guys, their heartbeat's like boom, boom.
Was that Daniel Jones for the Giants whenever he would see 40 yards of field in front of him and he just turf monster to the ground and just like
Yeah,
eat
I mean,
grass? Like,
I think a little different, but yeah.
I mean, there's nothing
some
stopping you
guys
but
are
you is all I'm saying.
some
Like,
guys are just goofy. Some guys are, they get nervous. But I thought that was a tough. And oh yeah, let me tell you the other thing that popped out at me is obviously Shakir is the Bills' number one receiver.
we knew he was going to be the guy, but as a Jags defense, and I even said this, I believe I was because we were at the Magic game while we were watching this game, right? We're like doing both.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, as a Bills D coming into this game, how can you sit there and say, we're going to take away the receiver? Who's their number one? Shakir, double him. You can't do that, right? Like, you can't double Shakir. He's not that guy. That's why he's so sneaky.
And he didn't have a great game. He,
yeah, Davis out for the rest of the season hurts, dude. On that kick return, he was a nice backup running back, obviously, and kick return had some pop. But no, I definitely thought that. Go ahead. I know you were in the middle of something.
No, but Shakir had 12 catches for 82 yards, so he didn't do a lot of those were screen passes. You can't take away a screen pass. They locked him up.
Catches and
they locked him up. Like Shakir wasn't like a game changer at all. He made some 12 catches, 82 yards, and half of those were behind the line of scrimmage. But Brandon Cooks is their number 2 leading receiver.
Right. And he's their deep threat.
This makes me think the GM has let this team down again. Yeah, you got by the Jags.
Keon Coleman's what happened? Why is he there getting a couple of catches? But why is he not a bigger part of this offense? And we knew it coming into this. Josh Allen's got Shakir, you got Cooks, and you got Coleman, but that doesn't even matter because who's going to get a touchdown? Kincaid, Knox. He's going to throw in a couple of tight ends. This is what we talked about. And it's like Josh Allen is the prime example of who doesn't need an alpha X receiver to dot up a bunch of people. And do you still think the GM is let them down even though he doesn't need an X receiver?
Yeah, I think the GM's let him down. Like, I think that he does need that. I mean, we've always said, does Josh Allen want that or need that? But this receiving
he just forced the ball to Diggs, right?
Yeah, but can you change? This receiving core is the worst in the NFL. And they're struggling. And now Brandon Cooks is your number 2. What's going to happen when you go against a good team? You can't have Shakir and there's not enough weapons. And I could see when the Bills play a good defense, Josh Allen isn't going to be able to find anybody open. But we'll see. Let's go to the
Niners. Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles definitely had this game won.
Yeah.
If not for drop balls, which is actually weird because that's the wide receiver's job to catch the fucking ball. AJ Brown is probably done with the Eagles now. You say la vie, AJ, right? I think we can all agree. Greater minds will agree. AJ Brown has talked his way out of town. You saw him on the sideline. He was in Sirianni's fucking ear. He's over here. Sirianni's just looking at him with disdain too. Not even like concern.
Yeah, I mean, him and Sirianni. It was
like he was just looking at him like, why are you even talking to me about this right now?
Yeah.
It was like the look that Sirianni gave. It was that look that you give to somebody who's coming up to you in the middle of the shift, and they're like, "You just got triple set," and you're like, "Okay, whatever. Like, we're gonna deal with it. That's all. We're gonna deal with this." And instead, he goes down there. He gets the opportunities. People throw him the ball, and it's on the 10-yard line when your team needs it the most, and you drop it. Like he had a lot of other drops, but the drop I cared the most about was the last drop, the one that made the difference. And it hit his hands. He jumps. It looked a little mistimed or whatever, just looked a little awkward, but it definitely should have been his. And you saw the way Hurts let the ball go. It looked great. It was like, I don't know. I thought for him to miss that, I thought was the reason why they lost. There's obviously, you can't say it's the only play, but it was the one play that mattered most that's going to send him out of town. That obviously was dejecting to him, to the team, and the Eagles out. Champs are gone. They're done.
Yeah. When you see Jalen Hurts' QBR at 40.6, at first you want to say, wow, how did Jalen Hurts play that bad? But then you look at it, there was 100 yards left on the table and I think it was 6 drops, and a lot of those blatant drops. Now, the one thing I did learn with this game is Saquon has definitely not lost a step.
He had that. I was going to say Saquon looked fine.
He had a big drop also on 3rd down, which was it was a big drop, and he would have shook that guy no problem. It would have been a 1st down. But
I was going to say, let me ask you this: last play call. Okay, you got and you're a Madden guru. Okay, this is why I want to know what you would do. You get one play to get 12 yards or 11 yards is all they needed. I thought the ball was definitely going to Goddard. I was like 100% this is going to Goddard. AJ just dropped it. This has got to be a Goddard play. Are you trying to scheme like everyone posting at different levels to the middle with a couple guys hitting the sidelines at the mark that you need, and you look for whoever has best leverage and you try to find your one-on-one? Or are you looking at what Jalen Hurts did? And I don't know exactly why he threw it to Goddard. There was a linebacker sitting underneath who was reading his eyes. And Hurts or Goddard was coming from right to left across their screen with 2 guys trailing him, one behind him over the top and one on his shoulder. And then he throws the ball. The guy underneath reads his eyes and goes in to make the play. The ball looked like it would have been there, and he probably would have had a chance to make the catch. Was that the play? Was that the play call? Would you have done something different for the season on the line?
Unfortunately, on 4th down, on 4th down,
Devontae Smith looked open in the back left.
Yeah, and it's easy for us to see, but you have to make sure, the only thing you have to make sure you do is at least get the ball out, right? So as a coach, you're telling your quarterback, you can't take a sack, count to 2, get rid of it, or roll out, right? And give yourself a clear vision, even though you're shortening the field. So I don't think he made a bad read there. I just think it was a good defensive play. And the Eagles offense, like most offenses, they're just not built for that. Like Eagles move the ball down the field, but Jalen Hurts isn't a guy that's going to throw a dot on, like, you know what I mean, on the far sideline or things like that. I didn't have a problem with the play call. I just think that the Eagles couldn't overcome some big deficits and like the drops. I mean, the Niners, that Juwan Jennings touchdown, which was crazy.
Juwan Jennings touchdown.
We talked about it, and we'll tell our
great. And you saw that Jennings got hit after that play. He like lets it go to Purdy. People didn't know Jennings was a quarterback in college or high school, whatever. So he loves
high school. He went to college as a receiver, and then he got drafted in the 7th round out of college to, the Niners. But just to think, he was the 5th best high school quarterback in the NFL. 5th. 6th out of high school that year was Sam Darnold. 7th out of high school that year was Joe Burrow.
Wow.
8th was a guy that we've never heard of. 9th out of Boynton Beach, Florida, somewhat of my hometown, Lamar Jackson. So Juwan Jennings was ahead of all those guys as a senior in high school. Isn't that crazy to think?
That's crazy.
And then he goes to the college as a receiver, and obviously good enough now where it's so funny now because when you look at him, Juwan Jennings is a great athlete. The one thing he lacks a little bit is that elite speed, right?
Sure.
But he's a good route runner and he's got great hands, and he pretty much doesn't go down with the first guy. It's just he's just like one of those he's like a quarterback turned receiver type of guy, right? He doesn't run a 4.3 or 4.40. He's probably 4.6, 4.7.
That was like a Tannenhill, right? That was like the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like a Ryan Tannenhill.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. Like they could just play both. And honestly, if I'm a Niners fan, I'm pretty pissed that when Brock Purdy got hurt 2 years ago, why
That
didn't we
you
put
didn't put in
Jawan Jennings
Jennings.
in? Because Josh Johnson's a fucking joke, right? He's not going to make any plays for you. You
I
might as
think
well
the only
go
reason
give.
why is probably it has to come down to like the playbook lingo, vernacular,
Oh, of course. And I'm
right?
kind of like, but
Whatever.
like, at least put Jennings in there for a play or two, right?
I mean,
Do
I
something.
I think that you should definitely put a wrinkle in or two for the rest of your playoffs while you got him out there. Do something and scheme something up. Especially Shanahan should do that. Like light it up.
Also, one of my other favorite um, stats in the postseason is this isn't Jawan Jennings' first touchdown throw, by the way. It's his second postseason touchdown, which is double the amount of Sam Darnold's postseason touchdowns. So, does that change? Probably. But them coming out of the same recruiting class, I don't think that we would have predicted when Sam Darnold got drafted like 4th overall by the Jets or whatever. I think it was 3rd or 4th, that Jawan Jennings would have more postseason touchdown passes
Really, really makes you
than
think what
third
Jawan
pick.
Jennings
Yeah.
prospects could have been as an NFL quarterback. Especially if you're ahead of Burrow and Darnold. That's
Yeah.
nuts, man.
Crazy.
McCaffrey obviously doing McCaffrey things.
And
Made
that was an
crazy
athletic catch.
That was a
an
crazy catch.
athletic catch. It was kind of a
Over the
bummer.
head, diving into
Yep.
the end zone, and he still secured it so it didn't hit the ground, brought it in. It was money. I'm not even gonna lie. I knew that McCaffrey was gonna have a huge year all year long, barring health, as we all think. But I'll never forget watching the preseason clips when they said McCaffrey doing McCaffrey things, and it just shows him on a backer and he dusts him and he run and it's like just up the middle instead of on the sideline, and he's just going up and catches a ball just like nothing, right over the top, hits down. Just like, bro, this is what we're gonna see all year long, and he does it in the playoffs from
And it's
Jawan
crazy.
Jennings.
It's such a fun
Unbelievable play,
play.
man.
It's such a fun play to break down. Like I was watching it this morning again, and I'm just like slowly watching it because Blankenship was covering C-Mac that play. And his instincts actually were right because he saw C-Mac kind of block, 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 then go. And Blankenship, like, for some reason, he saw it, and then he did. I don't think he believed himself, right? So then he waited for a second, then C-Mac ran by him. But the reason why it's such an athletic play too is that C-Mac's almost every catch that C-Mac has had in his career has been, it's with really close to the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's such an athletic play. And to be able to catch it over your head, meanwhile, in
Opposite
the road,
shoulder, he was looking left and caught it right. So he had to
not an easy catch. I would say most running backs are dropping that ball and nobody's talking about it.
Seahawks gonna smack the Niners. Zandy,
I kind of agree with you, Zandy. I just think that
I'll be the first to record. I'm a disagree. I thought whoever went to Seattle, if it was the Niners or the Rams, we're gonna beat the Seahawks.
It's all if Sam Darnold could shake off the nerves, which we talked about a lot this show. If he could shake them off, but no Kittle now. This Niners team with another Achilles injury. Now, can we seriously talk about this EMF stuff or whatever it's called? I did look this up. I was thinking to myself 2 nights ago, what does my world come to that I'm listening to physicians?
But this was in Philly, but you're just saying that it could have happened just prior to, right? Like whatever.
Well, yeah, because like he's always in the facility.
Right.
Kittle's always in the Niners facility.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen like, where the Rays just pop your, it's over time, right?
Right.
And it's just crazy that it's another Achilles injury, right?
Yes, it is.
There are what are they called? Not physicians. Physicists that have shot down this theory. And they said that would be something that our world doesn't know yet. If EMFs do affect like that kind of, whatever.
Physical muscle tissue, cells, cellular level kind of stuff. Got it.
Yeah. But
we'll
I just think the Niners are not healthy. And when you watch the Niners play on Saturday 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, or was it a week ago, actually, I guess. The Seahawks just dominated the Niners. But the Niners still had a chance to win. C-Mac, on another note, dropped the ball and on like the 2-yard line, and it popped up and Seattle intercepted it. So Yeah, is it going to be a close game? I don't know. I just think the Seahawks are going to be healthy. And also the Niner fans are not happy about this, but the Niners are playing a short week, right? They played Sunday on the
And now they
road
play Saturday,
on
right?
the East Coast, and now they got to go play Saturday in Seattle, which is close to home, but they were already on the East Coast. Their whole team is decimated with injury. I don't even know, is Pearsall coming back?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because
We have to
I
look
don't
that up,
think he
Gene.
played. He didn't play this game, right?
You could give me all of those reasons. You could put them on a list and number them and put them in order alphabetically, and I wouldn't give two shits that the Niners aren't going to go and beat the Seahawks. I just think they really are, and I think that the Niners defense is legitimate enough to give Darnold fits. I think if they do win, and I mean, hey, mark me wrong, whatever. I just don't believe in Sam Darnold until I see it, and I haven't seen it yet in a moment this big in a divisional game against a team who you have definitely struggled with, who you did just recently beat, but it was not a clean victory. I mean, you could just give me Shanahan and give me Purdy, give me McCaffrey, and that'll be enough. And they'll figure it out with Tongan, and they'll figure it out with whatever else they got. And then I think that the Rams end up meeting them in the championship game. But that's just what I got to say. And
Yeah,
obviously, Seattle is going to be favored. Seattle has the 12. Seattle's defense is so legit. I mean, it's everything against the Niners. I just think that galvanizes a team, bro. Count them out.
Yeah, just for them not to have Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Pearsall. I mean, D Winter. They have nobody. They have that. But hey, they beat the Eagles.
The champs. They just beat the champs.
Shanahan has never made the playoffs where he didn't at least go to the NFC Championship game. So when he makes the playoffs,
he's
Shanahan
always
goes
going to the championship,
to the NFC Championship game or better. Yeah, no official word yet on Fred Warner. Yeah, you're right. Sam Darnold, is he going to see ghosts again? We've seen quarterbacks do this. Let's get right into the. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the Patriots Chargers game because it was just that lackluster.
Justin Herbert got his ass kicked, bro. He was getting pummeled. Oh,
yeah,
hold on.
Herbert
before we leave,
whooped.
there was. Oh, never mind. That's in the next game. You're good. So Chargers Patriots. Justin Herbert. Sorry, I'm thinking about Sam. Justin Herbert got his ass kicked, and that offense, like you said, that offensive line was not existing. He ran for his life.
Yeah,
he ran for his life.
I knew that game
Hampton
was
not healthy, right?
Yeah,
Still not
Hampton
healthy.
had one carry. I didn't know he wasn't healthy, by the way.
He was. They were talking about it. He's wearing a boot, whatever. They were seeing if he was going to get live action. Kamani Vidal just not enough, and they couldn't. They had. Did you know that they didn't have 1,000-yard receiver in the Chargers? They had three 700-yard receivers, but not 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because it seems like throughout the year, like remember at first it was Quentin Jackson, right? Quentin
Johnson, QJ.
Quentin Johnson. Then it was Keenan Allen.
Right.
Then it was Gadsden.
Right.
Then it was McConkey.
Right.
But look back what Gene's saying. Yeah, Pearsall, Warner, Winters, Gifford. If those guys don't go, Niners are trouble. But anyways, Patriots, I knew this game was over when the Chargers intercepted the ball like inside the 10 or 15-yard line of New England early in the game.
And then
you don't get a point.
Yep.
You don't even.
They went for it on fourth down early to try to set the tone and got shut down. And I thought that was stupid. You just take the points.
In the first half, on the road, take your points.
You take the points, dude. I don't care what analytics and getting cute says.
If coaches don't want to punt, I'm totally okay with that. If you don't want to punt, Godspeed. Go get your yardage. But the reason why I say that is space. But when you got to get a 4th and 2 inside the 10, the defenders are not worried about getting beat deep. So they can play aggressive. And it makes it a lot harder. I don't even know if that was a 4th and 2. I'm going to look really quick, actually.
While you're looking, Drake May throws 268, had a pick and a tutty to obviously Hunter Henry to ice it. You had Ramondre and you had Travion, 10 carries each.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the playoffs right there. Travion will break one. Ramondre will continue to be goal line work. It's going to be a mixed backfield there throughout. Their tight ends are nice. They had some good production from some receivers. Keyshawn Booty, Ramondre Stevenson had 3 catches for 75 yards. That's obviously a difference maker there.
It is
Hunter
crazy
Henry,
too.
3 for 64. They're going to be peppering the ball around, and they're going to have guys just kind of involved. That defense is great. They're good. The Patriots are going to be a tough out. Foxborough's a thing. And I think that Drake May is going to get MVP, and he's playing in the next round. Here we go.
No, it's Star Spangled. You're right too. I mean, they haven't won in the postseason. They don't.
The only thing they did win is that was the game they came back and beat the Jags, right? 21-0, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. That was it.
The Chargers lost Rashawn Slater, who was like, he's a Pro Bowl left tackle. If not, he's a beast. And then they lost Joe Alt also. They can't stay healthy. And Herbert has yet to show that he can really deliver in all 4 quarters of a playoff game. I'm a big Herbert fan, and I got some friendly reminder texts from some buddies of mine that know how much I like Herbert, and they're just like 3 points in the playoffs. And you know what's kind of crazy is Drake May. What'd you say? How much did Drake May throw for? Like 268 or
268.
Like he did that without having to do that.
Right.
Think about that for a second. He did that with the lead almost the whole game. So he never really felt like he had to. Imagine if he had to do that. He could have threw for a lot more. That just shows you how much Drake May has grown. I thought the Chargers were going to maybe take them out. I did not know that their offensive line. I knew about the injuries, obviously. I did not know their offensive line would be this bad. I didn't know Herbert would be this bad. I didn't know Harbaugh was going to go for it on 4th and 2 when you could just take your 3 and take the lead early on. It drives me crazy these teams don't kick field goals.
I know. And then Patriots move on, and here we are.
And you know what's crazy is that they get stopped on 4th and 2. Then the Patriots go 14 plays for 93 yards. So, yeah, you pinned them back, but it didn't even matter, right? And I know you can't always be results-oriented on decisions, but take your fucking points in the first half, especially when you're taking your points early on to take the lead in the first half.
On the road.
And on the road. It's not 4th and an inch, and especially
and it's
when
cold. So take a short field goal over a long field goal. The ball's different in the cold, man.
Yep. I don't mind when guys don't want to kick 4th and 4. You don't want to kick a 50-yarder. Great. I don't blame you. Go for it. But on the gimme field goals in the first half, take your points. But all right, let's jump right to the Eagles. I'm about to lose my voice. I can feel it coming on.
Yeah, Texans and Steelers. Yeah, last game of the week.
Yeah.
Woody Marks did his thing, 19 for 112. Christian Kirk balls out, 8 for 144. They both had
Didn't see that one coming.
Didn't see that one coming. Obviously, Nico requires a lot of attention. 7th straight loss for Tomlin, right? It's now been 9 or 10 years since their last playoff win. We talked about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. That game was only 10-6. They were in it, and Rodgers was driving
in the third quarter.
When they got hit, and they ended up getting the whole return fumble for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And that started the whole debacle. You know what I mean? They were 4 points down. They lost 30-6.
You know, it's the first.
That's unreal, right?
It's unreal. It's the first time. I was gonna say in NFL history, but it was the first time since 1950 that in a playoff game, because that's how far they're going back with this, that a defense allowed under 200 yards and got 2 defensive touchdowns. So that's how dominating they were. But then again, like you said, and also drops are going to happen, but DK Metcalf dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And it was early in the game. But man,
you need that confidence, man. You got to get that momentum.
The Steelers offense and with the Texans defense, they aren't good enough to overcome those type of plays. The Rodgers fumble iced the game, obviously.
On that play, he got hit in the head?
Yeah.
before he ever fumbled, and it's on camera. I just don't know how they fucking miss it, right? Like he comes up
but
and gets hit in the back of the head, and he's swiping for the ball. But that's textbook contact, and I get you're going to call it or not. He hit him. He hit him in the head.
I think you're allowed to do that though now. I don't think you can't go helmet to helmet, but if your hand hits their helmet, that's why they have a helmet on. And if you're swiping for the ball,
you can literally tell he got hit and he kind of like it jarred him. You know what I mean? And I've seen calls for that this season be roughing the passer. I've seen calls for that my entire life be a penalty.
Fair enough. They got rid of that rule. I mean, okay. I don't know if they definitely got rid of it. They got rid of the rule where if your hand hits their helmet, it's not a penalty. There was a large part with this Brady thing where people were trying to bat down his balls
and they would like tap him.
Yeah.
Right. I could get that. This was like,
you should be allowed. That's why you have a helmet. Like, that's why they always joke, why are these guys punching each other in the head with helmets on?
Right.
Because it shouldn't matter. And also, if I understand what you're saying, but I want to say,
it was a time that was a linchpin in the game that it turned everything. And it was like one of those calls. They didn't call it clearly. And you're defending why. But I'm watching the play live and on replay, and I see it, and it's in even slower motion. The way he gets hit, and it jostles him, and he kind of loses his sense for a second. And then the ball comes out, and then it's like a late fumble, and then there goes Rankins, right? And it's
doesn't that suck also
for that game to shake out?
Yeah, but there was also a really bad call in the Niners-Eagles game where Jalen Hurts is running for a first down, and he slides so late. I mean, it was crazy.
And then he got hit, and they gave that penalty to him.
And they got hit. And at first, they thought it was on the defensive back, which there would have been Brady was bitching about it already. Brady was like, you can't call that. You cannot call that. But then when you reviewed it, they saw the D lineman going for his head. Now, that's different because when they're getting themselves up.
If someone's going down. And
but the problem is these guys give up. Yeah, you want to say Rodgers is washed. The Texans have been doing that all year to teams. And also, Aaron Rodgers.
Texans won 10 in a row. They're the hottest team.
Aaron Rodgers just had a great game against the Ravens to get them there. And with that Metcalf, the Steelers weren't good enough to overcome drops. And also, Rodgers was pissed about something, which he always looks like he's mad and blaming somebody else. But he was mad about there's one screen pass where somebody missed a block, and I guess it was wide open. But the bottom line is also CJ Stroud looked fucking horrible, by the way. I mean, he looked so bad, and they still couldn't stop him. Now, you can't say the Texans put up 30 points because the defense put up 14 of that, right?
No, right. Yeah.
But the CJ Stroud looked horrible, but they were still.
But Woody Marks and Chubb looked great, bro. And
they were running the
Kirk
ball.
Was able to ball, and they'll figure it out. That's the thing about having a good defense and a running game in the playoffs. It takes the pressure off of your quarterback, and you can still make things happen.
Yeah, and like classic Rodgers, you want to say, I mean, I think the guy still has it, and I just think that.
Do you think Rodgers in Pittsburgh next year? I think he runs it back.
I think
Tomlin stays for another year. Rodgers runs it back. Roger even was in his post presser. He even said, he goes, when I came in the league, teams like LaFleur and Tomlin would never even be on the hot seat. And he was just going on about these idiots that are out there and critics and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know? So he doesn't think Tomlin at all should be gone. He obviously, if Tomlin's there, I could definitely see him coming back.
Also, if the Steelers would have played it right, they could have got Shador, right? And then at least you'd have a plan. Now you don't have a plan. But you're right. Honestly, I could see Rodgers coming back. It's not easy for a guy like Rodgers just to come in and mesh with all these guys. But the way he kind of expanded Gainwell's role, Metcalf had a good year. It wasn't amazing, but it was good, right? And you do feel like if Metcalf came back next year, he'd be just as good, better maybe. And let's be real. I think the Steelers lost this game, to be honest with you, because of a couple big drops, and they couldn't stop the run because CJ Stroud was choking like
right. They couldn't stop the run,
badly,
bro.
badly
They allowed
choking.
170 yards rushing or whatever,
Yeah.
180 yards. It's
And
crazy.
like when you're the Steelers at home,
At
I would
home,
tell you
you're
that.
supposed to be the curtain.
And also, is it the worst running back tandem in the playoffs? Woody Marks and Nick Chubb? I mean, that's not a sexy tandem right there. I'm just saying, like, Woody Marks had a good fantasy year, but that's not a guy when you watch, you're like, ooh.
I mean,
Nick
he's a
Chubb,
rookie and he runs hard. He's not this elusive dude or anything, but
Gene just said Stroud fumbled
he
5
doesn't go
times.
down the first 2 tackles, essentially, right? And he's always falling forward.
Stroud fumbled 5 times.
Yeah.
And it was because he was so nervous. I literally watched him. His hands were shaking. It was not because he was cold. He was like this. He lost 2 of them. He threw an interception, and there was another interception where it literally hit the guy right in the chest. It was crazy. I've never seen a quarterback like I literally swore they were going to put Mills in. I think D'Amico was thinking about it because Stroud made some
no
throws.
way.
Okay, let me ask you something. If you're the coach,
okay,
the quarterback is fumbled.
It would have
5
just
times.
he wouldn't have ever done it. It would have been detrimental to CJ Stroud and his psyche and his mental prowess this early in his career. After the season you've had, after 9 in a row, I just think that he would have never done it.
Yeah, but Mills was part of that, and you could argue they've looked the best with Mills. Okay, let me ask you this.
I mean, I agree with you there. You're
do
right.
you pull? Okay, so you're saying no way, which I respect that. When do you pull him? Is it 6? Okay, if he fumbles 8 times, are you thinking about pulling him?
I don't think you pull them if they're still winning. You got to be losing.
No, I don't know about that. Like the way the Steelers offense looked, but like what? So do you pull him after 10 times? 10 fumbles.
10 fumbles is, I don't know if you would have to look at NFL.
Because that's how bad it was. The reason why I picked
in the
7,
Super Bowl era, I don't know if any quarterback has ever fumbled 10 times.
The reason why
he did fumble 5 times, which is outrageous.
The reason why I picked 7 is he bobbled 2 of them also.
2 more.
So it could have been 7. He could have thrown like 4 picks. One was blatant. The other one was almost as blatant. I mean, like you're looking at, I mean, what are we?
I think you're right. If he fumbles 7 times, maybe you pull him.
Yeah,
5 times, we're good.
I truly think D'Amico was just
6.
Like, hey.
Maybe he would have been like, "Look here, dude. You fumble one more time."
Like,
you know, like, you gotta. You're right. There. You say that they would never, but there is a line in the sand.
Yeah.
I say I would never leave my wife. Okay,
yeah.
Ever. But something could happen. You know?
Yeah, I know. Something's gonna happen, which we know it would never be Anastasia's fault.
It would never be Anastasia. It would be me.
Or Barbie. It'd be us. But also, I'm looking at this right now, too. Josh Allen and Stafford both had injuries. Salma Hayek calls, yeah.
Exactly.
They both had injuries where on their follow-through, they hit their hand. One on a helmet.
Yeah. I saw Josh Allen did that, right?
I don't know why. That like creeps me out. Every time I see it,
they immediately get that finger stinger and they
start shaking. Stafford was holding his hand for like 2 or 3 drives. And I'm just like,
it's got to be numb. It's just got to be numb.
Man, you just don't want to
pull it out like it's jammed.
As a fan, you just don't like. It's one thing if you get your head taken off and you're like, okay, that was a hard hit. Imagine if like you're the Rams, we lost because Stafford, because like you cannot throw a football if one of your fingers is broken. Sure. And we all know that could easily happen. Like I'm not calling these guys pussies. I'm like doing the opposite. I just don't want these guys. And every time I see a guy break his finger or hit his finger and hold it on a helmet, I like cringe. I'm like, oh my God.
It's so
don't have this guy get hurt. Because if it's their left hand, you could put a cast on it.
And it's usually on the back of their own lineman's helmet. You know what I mean?
It's on their own lineman's helmet. Goofy. It's always something like, and if you just think about like how strong these guys are, the arm strength and the amount of torque, like you could easily snap your finger.
And then the way they sit there and use their fingers to guide the ball, so they're
There's so many different ways to spin a ball, and it's just crazy.
Well, we'll see if that affects anything next round. Obviously, Gene, we won't start breaking it down until Thursday. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Rules of the rules.
Do you want to break down a little bit of Miami action here?
So I mean, actually, how about this? We'll break it down on Thursday. Um, I have a friend, he's a childhood friend, no pressure, buddy, but love the guy, Mike Collin. He has some choices to make. All right.
Okay.
He could take me, his cousin, and maybe another guy named Bobby Bradley to the Miami Hurricane game, or he has some family. I think I'm in the running there, right? This is a season ticket holder for the last, I want to say 12 to 15 years, but it could be more.
Okay.
We went to every Miami Hurricane game. Me and him went to a Hurricane game 25 years ago or 20 years ago, where let's just say we hung out all night and then we went to the game and it was 95 degrees outside. We are dressed in nightclub gear.
Oh, this is good.
I fell asleep for like 2 out of the 4 quarters in a long white polo.
I've never heard this.
In jeans, and I just passed out. Obviously, we did our Miami Tootsie run, went to Tootsie's, Spearmint Rhino, and we started out hanging out at 8 p.m. and by noon the next day we were there. Well, anyways, and I'm bringing this up. I'm not even guilt tripping Mike because this is a decision. And I told him he should sell 2 tickets, take him and his cousin, and go. But he's got club level 4 tickets. He paid, we'll just say the amount, roughly $800 per ticket. He can easily sell them right now for 10.
Mm-hmm.
So 40 grand he can make, or he can make 10 grand, 20 grand. Now keep in mind, this is the guy, we do pretty good in life. Mike's hit some home runs. So that is good money for anybody, but you know what I mean?
He's not over here. It's, it's not swaying any decisions. He's like, I'm going to go see the game and,
Yeah. But so, he called me yesterday and he was like, hey, stay by your phone and get ready. Now I told him, if he calls, I'm going. That's it. And it's just a tough decision, right? What do you do? He's a lifelong Hurricane fan.
Right. And that could be 20 grand just right there on the table. I mean, hell, that could be 40 grand. We could throw a hell of a party, cater it, and we're still winning. We got people serving us. The TV's huge. There's nobody in the way.
He could go. He lives in an amazing neighborhood, an amazing house, 20 minutes from the stadium. And he's just got some decisions to make.
Down in Kendall.
Yeah, he's got some decisions to make. He was the one where I went to the game earlier on this year in Louisville. I think Mike and I, our first sleepover was when we were 7 years old. Not guilt tripping you or anything, Mike, but
sounds like that's some loyalty right there, man.
Yeah, and throughout the years we've been through some up and downs.
35 years plus of friendship right there, man.
Yep. Yeah, we were. I was the number 1 batter. I was not the number 1. I was first batter. He was second batter.
Right. You were
9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13 and 14 on up. We were the second base shortstop tandem for a while. No pressure, Mike.
Right.
But
the continuity is there.
And
I can imagine you now in the line. Like before he even moves left, you're already moving left with him to move through the concourse. Yeah. You guys are just so plugged in.
But it is funny to think that these are like real. I mean, that's kind of hard to know you got 40 grand. And I'm not even bullshitting you, Buff. Those 10 grand number is lowballing. You're literally in the club level, and your tickets aren't seats. They're seats. They're officially seats, but you're in like a padded high top booth. Like you're sitting at table 103, right? But it's a bar, but you're at a high top, but it's kind of like a table.
Right.
And it's just, you're in air conditioned out like it matters.
Yeah. It's so nice.
It's just crazy to think. But
hoping that phone rings,
I've had my phone on silent, Barbie said, for the last 15 years that she's known me.
Right. Me too.
13 years.
Right. Too many notifications.
She said, it's the first time I've ever heard your ringer on.
Right.
Just every time this phone rings,
every notification.
I'm just waiting. And but anyways, Indiana's kind of getting a lot of shit because their average age is 23 years old, which do the math. How is your average age of your player 23? That means you have some 25-year-olds. That means you have some and Miami is a bunch of young guys trying to go shock the world.
Right.
7.5. Yeah, right. 7.5 is the point spread, which is, we'll talk about that on Thursday. Let's keep to the structure now. I don't want to upset Gene. But to watch Carson Beck march that team down the field and make those big throws, and to watch baby Jesus, who should still be in high school,
unbelievable,
making these plays.
He broke through 3 tacklers out the middle and was gone, bro.
And he's getting hit in some of these games against Ohio State. And when he's getting rocked, this is a kid. He's never been, but he is they call him baby Jesus, but he is the South Florida jewel. My friend Kevin Walsh and we've been hearing about this guy since he's been in 8th grade, and the legends and the lore. I mean, there are murals of this kid before he even stepped foot on a college campus. He is and he's such a good kid. It's just a great story.
Everybody just says how he's mature beyond his years, how smart he is, how he's so intelligent, picks up everything on the offense, but how he can read where he belongs and fit anywhere in the scheme. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable how hard he is to bring down too, because he doesn't run a 4.3 40. He just isn't that guy. I mean, he's fast, right? But he's just so hard to bring down, and he's just
don't you say that, you fucking mush. You're such a mush.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh my God, bro. Baby Jesus will pull an Eli and be like, I'm not going.
Well, also his name's Baby Jesus. The world will come to an end. It would literally 100%. Just be the day the world
that would
came
be the
to
second
an end.
Coming. He would literally just be like, and I'm Jesus. And
they talk about it 1,000 years from now. Was it a crater? What ended the world? Baby Jesus got drafted by the Jets.
Baby Jesus got drafted by the
Jets. God just said, I had enough. But anyways, it'll be fun. Honestly, Mike's one of the most generous guys I ever met. It'll be awesome if we go. The storytelling would be amazing. If not, I just hope he enjoys it, because that is a loyal fan beyond what me and you have ever seen. We think Gene is a loyal fan of the Jets. Gene says he doesn't even want to be a Jets fan anymore.
I know.
So where's Mike?
There's no loyalty there.
He has never went one way or the other. He is Miami.
And it's been a while since the Hurricanes were even relevant. Y'all just burst on the scene the last couple of years, man.
And when I went down there for the Louisville game, his cousin Spencer,
Kadarius Toney. Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, not Kadarius. But and they're not brothers, so don't even go that route. But when Spencer said, "Man, my cousin Mike has been taking me to these games for 15 plus years and just dragging me to these games," and now he's like, "Finally, we get to go where it means something." This is when we're going to the Louisville game.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying. I think Carson Beck might be better than Cam Ward. And then Carson Beck throws 4 interceptions. We get beat by Louisville, and everyone's walking out saying, "Get rid of Carson Beck. He sucks. Miami's done for. Cristobal should be fired." All we do is run halfback dive, and now
run it back. Run it back.
But anyways, it was a fun show.
No, it's a great show. I had one fun question for. I thought this was pretty interesting. There's a show on there asking some former NFL players if they could answer this question.
Sign me up, Glenn. Go.
Which head coach has more rushing yards than Bo Jackson?
Say it again.
Which head coach active has more rushing yards than Bo Jackson? Kind of crazy, right?
It's an NFL head coach?
Yeah, NFL head coach, active right now.
Okay, so Gene knows.
Gene says he knows. Obviously, if you know, you know. If anybody in the chat knows. But I thought it was really cool. I had to go through it and think about it, and I didn't even quite get it. I think you might get it because you've been plugged into football longer than I have. Yeah. Go through your divisions. Obviously, Bo Jackson has 3,000-4,000 yards, so it's not like just chump change.
No, yeah, I know, and that's why it's not like a guy that played quarterback or it's a running back. It's a running back. And
interesting. Right?
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much time here, but
yeah. Total yards, career cut short, but still a coach.
Yep, that's what he's saying, Gary.
Right? You just try to go through the divisions, right?
I'm trying to go through it. I don't even know who would be a running back.
Johnny T.
Harbaugh?
Harbaugh. Good job, Johnny
Nice,
T.
nice.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking because I was trying to think of a running back. I was gonna guess Harbaugh, but then I thought you said running back has more yards, but
Well,
it's a player.
yeah, he's a player.
Either way. Great trivia question. Love it.
I was just saying more than a running back. Sorry if I misheard you.
No, yeah, no worries.
I was like, yeah, more than a running back. Yeah, you got it.
No, Harbaugh was awesome. I loved watching Harbaugh play, and he was one of those guys that wouldn't light up the scoreboard passing, but you could always trust him on a 3rd and 6. He was
one of those sneaky mobile guys. Obviously, got the job done, and I just figured it'd be a fun end on the show because that's what we started it with. It's talking about the Harbaughs. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Pop Stars always trying to bring a little bit of love, a little knowledge. We appreciate your support. Johnny T, Wu-Tang, Star Spangled, Dan, all these guys checking in. Your other buddy who's the big Packers fan.
Yep, Glenn.
I'm sorry about your year.
Gary.
But yeah, man, we'll be back Thursday previewing the divisional games, and we can't wait.
Yeah. All right.
Pop Stars out.